That's right. It is time for another episode of Shit Hit the Fan News. For those of you that are new here, kids, you probably don't want them watching this video with you. I'm not super big on profanity, but September was a complete goat screw, man. It was. It was a shit show. We had a hand and arm signal for that when I was in the Army, and it was this. You know what that is? That's a goat fuck. When I first saw it, I was like a private, man, and we were out in the field somewhere, and my squad leader looked back at us and was like, because leadership had their head up their ass at the time. They couldn't get their shit straight, and we're out there just getting rained on, laying there in the mud, just waiting for them to fucking do something. Well, that's what September looked like. And if anything, it was worse than that. I'd rather laid for the entire month of September out in the rain, in the mud, waiting for something to happen than to see what actually went down this month. So let's get right after it, pimps. We're going to start with the biggest piece of news this month. Oh, and for those of you also, again, if you're new here, this is basically like a once a month recap. So we're covering September of 2025. That's what this video is about. It's just here to kind of like brief you, give you like what went down, what I think is part of the 80-20 of the news cycle. 80-20 being 20% of what we read in the news is going to produce 80% of the results for us as survivalists and preppers. So I try to kind of like narrow that stuff down for you guys and give you the 20% that I think that you should be paying attention to. I read much more news than what I'm going to talk about today. But I just kind of try to pick the topics that I feel are very important for y'all. But yeah, the first piece of news, and obviously the biggest thing that happened in September here, was the Charlie Kirk assassination. I want to share my initial impressions, and we're going to talk a little bit about how stupid the official narrative is. Like, they think we're stupid, okay? I'll get into it in a minute. But anyways, I was coming back from town when I got the news that Charlie Kirk had just been shot, and he was still alive at this point in time. They were rushing him to the hospital. There were initial reports he's still breathing. And right when it happened, I thought CIA, most likely Mossad. And I'll probably get into that a little bit more in this video, because this is something we've been hitting on every month, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of stuff about this Charlie Kirk assassination and kind of where he was going before he got shot that definitely could implicate that Mossad was involved in it. But the second thing I thought, and this was after finding out that he had passed and seeing the initial footage of him in that neck wound, it would be on this side to you guys, because this thing's like reversed and all that kinds of stuff. But when I saw that, I immediately knew it was not a 30-06, and we didn't even know what kind of rifle it was at that time, but I was like, that's a big hole. And I told my wife that is an exit wound from a big, slow-moving cartridge. That's what I told her. She's not out here right now, but I know she'd get my back on it, because that's the truth, guys, and we're honest people. And so I was thinking 45 ACP, 44 special, maybe 44 mag, something in that kind of range. It didn't necessarily have to be subsonic, but when you've killed a lot of things and you've seen a lot of entrance wounds and a lot of exit wounds, and you've heard a lot of gunshots, you kind of can just extrapolate information right away. Now, it's hard to do this watching a whole bunch of footage from cell phones to a degree, like the actual report of the firearm. It's going to sound a certain way through a cell phone. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you that wasn't a high-powered rifle. I don't know. I haven't heard any audio that was some super high-speed mic, and it's still not the same. I've got a really good ear for this kind of thing because of how many rounds you guys know, I've been around, man. And me and the wife will be out somewhere, and some people will be shooting up ahead, and I'll be like, they're shooting 9mm, or they're shooting 223s or 5.56s, or they're shooting whatever. And I'm almost always right. I've got good accuracy with those guesses. I've had it happen right out here outside the ranch. We had some dickhead drive down out of the national forest. This was a couple years ago. In what sounded like a modified like straight 6 cylinder, and probably a Jeep. And I've seen a Jeep come down this road. But I didn't have eyes on it at that point in time, but they were out there ripping off rounds within about 250 yards of the house, just barely off the property, being dickheads. And I told my wife, I was like, that's 223556. And sure as shit, we got the next morning, and there's a whole bunch of casings just laying there on the road, and that's exactly what it was. So, not to spend too much time, oh shit. That's the other shitty thing about September, man. I broke my tripod. So now I got a selfie stick set up here leaning on the steering column in the truck just trying to get this shit done. Not to stay on that for too long. There's just so many holes in this thing, man. Like this kid, Tyler, apparently super smart, but he's texting his furry boyfriend that I just did it. Now he's in custody and he hasn't admitted to doing it. He won't talk to them. Like this shit doesn't add up, man. That's part of it. The FBI released footage of him running across the roof, and they cut out the first bit. The bit where they claim he took the shot, disassembled his Mauser, put it in a towel, started running across the roof, and when you finally see him on the roof, the part of the video that they're showing us, and they could show us where he took the shot from. Like, they have that footage. They have the footage of him disassembling the Mauser in 3 seconds. More bullshit, right? But they don't show it to us. They don't want to give us that information. Not to mention it doesn't all fit, right? Like the guy left the screwdriver on the roof. That's what he supposedly disassembled this rifle with. Gets out in the woods with a disassembled rifle and reassembles it. But he left his tools on the roof. The whole thing about him having this rifle down his pants. Total bullshit, guys. I know people are like, oh, he removed the receiver from the stock and he had it like this and this. And I've seen some YouTube videos where people tried to break this down. And you know what? They want that narrative to be true. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, man. I took a Remington 700 with a 9-power Nikon scope on it, stuck down my pants, the whole thing. Dude, you are not walking up the stairs like that. And even if I were to remove the receiver and the barrel from the stock, you're still going to see outlines of the barrel in that guy's pants. Got all these angles of him on the stairs. Him, supposedly Tyler. But guess what? It's not fucking Tyler, man. When you look at the enhanced image, now a lot of people are like, oh, it was an AI image. I didn't read that they used AI to enhance it. And Adobe Photoshop has been around for fucking decades, man. It's older than most of my children. You could take a photo back then and enhance it. And so you got the media peddling this shitty picture of the supposed perp, like from as far away as possible with this extremely low resolution. And let me tell you guys something, because I worked in anti-assassination for 5 years, 2 years of it in management. I have helped design multi-million-dollar security systems. I've seen what kind of technology they had over a decade ago. Like, I got out of that career, like 14 years ago now? 13, 14 years ago. And I will tell you what, the footage that they're showing us, these unclear pictures, no, they've got better than that. The pictures of Tyler, supposedly Tyler, in the stairwell, yeah, that's believable, the resolution of those photos. But the shitty one that the media is throwing everywhere, complete garbage, man. Complete garbage. They could do better. They obviously had better pictures of that guy's face in the stairwell because they cleaned one up. But they don't want to show it to you. They don't want to put it all over the place because you can easily take a look at Tyler's face and take a look at the guy in the stairwell and realize one of them has a butt chin and one of them doesn't. That one of them has his earlobes attached and the other one doesn't. Like, there's too many things. The mouth shape is not the same. And when I first saw the picture, the cleaned up picture of that guy in the stairwell, I was like, Mossad, man. So I could keep getting into the details where this doesn't fit, because there's a lot more of them. But I think we're just going to leave it out there. I think we totally did more than hitting the 20% of this narrative that's complete bullshit. But let's talk about it. Was Israel involved? Was Mossad involved in this? Reportedly, Charlie Kirk turned down $150 million from Netanyahu a couple of weeks before he got whacked. And he was beginning to question Israel. He was trying to separate himself from Israeli donors, and this information comes from like a third party. But the word on the street was that Charlie Kirk was telling people close to him that he was worried Israel was going to assassinate him if he started talking bad about them. And this, Charlie had this huge audience, guys, huge. So he could do serious damage to Israel's reputation. And if you think about this and you look at it, and go watch some of the stuff Ian Carroll's been doing regarding Israel lately. It covers the whole history of it since the state was created in 1947 onward. And all the terrorist activities. But very, very high possibility, guys, that Mossad was involved in this. Moving on, we could talk about George Zinn. He's the guy that initially looked like he might have been the assassin. We're talking like 30 minutes into this whole thing going down. This white boomer that claimed he shot Kirk to allow the real shooter to escape. He's been charged with obstruction of justice. Awesome. And apparently he had inappropriate pictures of minors on his phone. Ooh. Does not sound like a good person. Moving on from that, and this is one of the big pieces of news this month, man. And it sucks, because guess what? We're right back to where we were a year ago. World War III's back on the table, pimps. Trump appears to have completely flip-flopped on wanting to kill this war between Russia and Ukraine. One of the big things that he ran on. He's completely shifted gears, and now all of a sudden, he's telling Ukraine, go get him, man. It looks like there's another arms deal in the works, and it appears like he might have approved long-range strikes into Russia again, which had us pretty close to, like, the verge of full nuke war, right? When we're supplying Ukraine with long-range missiles, and they're targeting Russia's nuclear tools, okay, because that's what they were doing with this kind of equipment and their drones and all this. That puts the whole world in a really, really bad place. So for me personally, I just want to tell you guys how this has affected me because, man, I'm always telling my patrons, like, 3 years, man, I'm getting back on the road. I'm going to go do my thing and go live off rabbit meat and quail and pheasant and whatever I can freaking shoot, and just be out in the boonies fishing and stuff with my wife. This month took a big step back for me. It did. I'm not happy about it at all. I'm pissed. Like, what the fuck, Trump? You got fucking elected to do something, man? Do your shit. He's going hard at this whole immigration thing. Like, he's sticking with that for now, but who knows now? Who knows down the road? Is he gonna flip because the Democrats, and that's more news, right? The government shutdown, it's really probably should be a part of October news because it's kind of hitting today, and today's October 1st. But, they want health care for illegals. Meanwhile, he's getting rid of fucking illegals. Like, how much sense does this make? We need $1 trillion so we can have health care for illegals. Meanwhile, he's like trying to get people out as fast as possible. But is he going to flip-flop in a week or two when the government's still shut down and he can't pay ICE agents to remove illegals? Is he going to go ahead and start paying for health care for illegals again? Why is this even a fucking topic that we discuss this, man? We don't know. We don't fucking know now. Like I said, get your kids out of the room. This one's just... It's just crazy, the news that dropped this month. Moving on. It has come out that there were 274 FBI agents in the January 6th crowd. Undercover agents. Holy shit. You know what I want the FBI to tell us? I want them to tell us how many plainclothes undercover officers they had at all the Black Lives Matter rallies and all the Antifa riots that we saw during the last administration. I want to know that. And I mean, here's the thing. Do I really even need to know it now? Right? Is that part of the 80-20 anymore that I need to know that number? No, more of a personal interest for me. But what the federal government just told us is that it is targeting people on the right. It is. It's literally targeting you. It wants to make you look bad. It wants to be prepared to make you look bad. And a lot of these FBI agents were provocateurs. And it's come out that a lot of them that were involved in this feel like they were politicized. And they were not happy about it. That's right, guys. Internal documents show that, man. Oh, holy shit. Where do we go from here? Comey was indicted. Yay. Yay, because he's a shitbag. He's a literal shitbag playing for one team. And he was hired to do a job that didn't require him to be partisan. You know what I'm saying? So he shit the bed. He lied to Congress. Throw that fucker in prison and chuck the key out in the field. In more news, the White House has informed America that Tylenol may lead to autism. Now, President Trump himself, he had something to say about this, and he was like, I suggest you don't take it. Just don't take it if you're pregnant. What's fucking wrong with that? The White House releases a statement saying it may cause autism, and we've got Johns Hopkins University that agrees with them. We got, was it Stanford? No. I lost it. Harvard says the same thing, that it may cause autism. Is something that should be looked into. It's not definitive, but it's a may. And even in 2017, Tylenol themselves on Twitter said that we don't recommend you take our product while you're pregnant. Well, what are the leftists doing? Not the leftists. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, guys. I've gotten into a bad habit of just saying leftists, and because I argue with my brother all the time about what the left versus the right is doing and all kinds of shit. And no, it's progressives. It's progressives. It's the crazy fucking people over on the extreme left. You got these pregnant women that are running out and stuffing their faces with Tylenol. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be? Like, you already have reason to believe that it may cause autism. But no, you got to prove a point that, you can have a baby that doesn't have autism? No shit. May doesn't mean that every single child that was born from a mother that took Tylenol during her pregnancy is going to be autistic. May doesn't mean that. May contribute doesn't mean that. May contribute means that it might increase the chances of you having an autistic child. But holy shit, the progressives are just fucking stupid, man. So stupid that you would endanger a child and your body and possibly burden yourself with having to raise another human being for decades because they may not be able to function on their own, because there's different extremes of autism, obviously, right? There's very mild forms of autism, people that are going to function very well. They're just, they're a little different. And then you have people that are so autistic that they will not function by themselves. They will not. So you have this spread, it's not black and white, but still, why would you want your child to end up that way? You wouldn't. And look where we are in America today. This is more news because, there we go again. This is more news because RFK Jr. was talking about the vaccine schedule. They're taking a big look at it. And if you go back in America and take a look at where we were about 80 years ago with our vaccine schedule recommended by the CDC or the government, right? You had very little cases of autism, very little. And yeah, I mean, we're talking like 2 per 10,000 children. Now we're up to 1 in every 34 kids. Holy shit. Wow, just wrap your head around the numbers, because you know what, guys? The numbers are a part of the 80-20. Getting off of Tylenol, because I'll just keep screaming at progressives for the next hour. Probably one of the biggest pieces of news that people weren't aware of, because this happened right before Charlie Kirk got shot. And it could have gone bigger as far as news goes, but it didn't happen. Get a load of this, man. Wait till you guys get this one and think about it for a second, okay? Israel invited Hamas to meet with them. Like, they're going to have Israeli agents meet with Hamas agents in Qatar and discuss terms for peace. Okay? And do you know what Israel did? They let the Hamas guys show up and they dropped a fucking bomb on the building that they were in. How do you know somebody doesn't actually want peace? It's when they invite you to a meeting and they don't show up and they drop a bomb on your fucking ass, man. For real. You know, and so it feeds into more of all this stuff that Israel has been doing for so long. And here's the thing, man. I have met a ton of people that have worked in the IDF. And that's part of why when I saw that guy on the staircase, I could be like, I could so believe it. I could so believe that he was Mossad. But I've met a ton of people in the IDF. I've met a lot of Jews over the course of my life that both lived in America and have been raised in America, or moved from Israel to America, or vice versa. And it's not the Israeli people. It's not the Jews. It's the leadership. And this is the same problem that America is dealing with in large part, right? It's not necessarily that all Americans suck. It's that our leadership fucking sucks, man. Sometimes we get it's a little better, and sometimes it's a little worse, and sometimes even the guys that you think are going to be better are just like shitting on the American people and not doing what they said they're going to do. Oh, man, what a crazy ass game it is. But I stand true to this, and I want to bring it up because I've been talking about it in the last couple shit hit the fan newses. And I want to appeal to the Jewish people, especially the ones in Israel, because there's been a lot of outrage amongst them about what Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, has done over there. And I hope this doesn't flag this video, and it probably will. It probably will. You guys know my shit's probably never going to blow up because I just call it like it is, and I'm willing to say it. I don't play this. I don't understand all the algorithm shit, like the rules that I'm breaking and the things that I can and can't say. I try to be a little careful here and there, but, you know, anyways, a lot of people in Israel have been really upset with him on and off, and he just always seems to try to divert the attention to a new conflict. And y'all need to put some new people in power there. All these people that are running the show in Israel that were literally operating in terrorist units as terrorists decades ago. You need to get rid of these fucking people, man. You need to. You have to get rid of them. Because now, look where we are in America. This is a part of the news every single day. The dirty shit that Israel has been involved in around the world. It's part of the news every single day, at least the news that I follow. And you know what? I've known it for decades, guys. It's not like this is new information to me. I've literally known this for decades. But the rest of America is starting to wake up to it. And if you guys don't make some changes over there, you are going to lose the support for America, and we will be in the book of Revelation. Whether or not you believe that that book is real, whether or not you believe. Let's get ready to wrap it up, dudes. I'm just going to hit a couple more things and we're going to be done, man. We had a dude in Dallas, some Antifa guy, try to kill some ICE agents. And you see, once again, the radical progressive left. Now, there was another shooting of like a Church of Latter-day Saints. And, yeah, really bad news. Looks like the guy was a conservative. You know what? There's just fucking crazy people out there. There is. But if we look at violence as a whole in America, if we look at murders as a whole, it's leftists. And I mean leftists. I don't mean progressives. I mean leftists. They are largely the problem. And I know, because I had this argument with my brother. He's like, oh, the political violence on the right. There's a study. 29 murders. 27 of them were conservatives. They're looking at a study of 29 murders? Like, holy shit, how comprehensive. Good job, guys. And guess what? The organization that got it done is far left leaning. Of course, they would try and paint it that way. But if you actually look at the numbers, and I'll probably save it for another video. I don't think I really need to get into it in this video. But yeah, you know, that happened. And then another really, really big one, which just kind of makes my point from the rest of this video, is James O'Keefe's video that he released in September, where a senior Department of Justice investigator who investigated Jeffrey Epstein, and the victims, admitted that Jeffrey Epstein was a CIA Mossad asset. There we go. You're getting it from the government that has tried to conceal this and tried to protect Israel. You are getting it from an inside source that he was a Mossad agent. An asset, rather. Okay, an asset. And I was talking about this in the last Shit Hit the Fan news, guys. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they have been blackmailing our politicians and our businessmen, and not just ours, but they've been doing this for a long time. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about it? What do you think? Do you think America should just continue funding Israel? Right? Does this make you want to vote for politicians that take AIPAC money? Not me. Holy shit, no. Not that the whole election argument, I'll save it for another day, as to whether or not we really make any difference or not. But that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it, man. It was a real ball buster this month. You know, it's a good time to get back on your preps. But I want to throw this out there because my patrons have kind of mentioned this in some of the chats I've had with them. Guys, you can't just prep all the time. You have to remind yourself why you're prepping. And you're prepping so that you can stay alive to experience those good times with the people that you love. So you have to get out, man. I want to encourage all of you guys, find an excuse, get out of the house with the wife, find a babysitter for the kids, man. Go do an overnight or two. Get some bed and breakfast, go camping, go do something with your wife. Okay? Go do it, man. Go get that done. You know, have a little bit of boom boom time or a lot of bit of boom boom time. I prefer a lot over a little. But go have a good time. Remind yourself why you go to work. Remind yourself why you work on your preps and all that kinds of shit, dudes. Okay? It'll just make it easier to keep prepping and to keep and to put good energy into it. All right, dudes, that's it, man. Might be kind of a long one. I'm going to let y'all go. Keep getting ready, guys. I'll see you in the next one.